some days, there comes the Ugemobo Festival, which the Oba celebrates outside the palace gate. A pavilion is built of red cloth where rites are performed to drive away all evil spirits still unsatisfied by the year's sacrifices. The Emobo Festival is to commemorate an event in Benin history which dates back to 1504 AD.
Yari yari, Oba Tope! Yari
The Oba of Benin added a colorful mood to the year's celebration as he walks round the city center amidst cheers.
Once you hear that sound, definitely you know that it is time for your program on television. This is Independent Television, and my name is Evans Unokogi. You're welcome to the program this morning on ITV. Today is Wednesday, the 28th day of January 2026. So we've got about 2 whole days, tomorrow 29th and 30th, and even 31st. We've got about 3 whole days before January will just roll away. And well, a lot of persons have been saying so much about January that this seems to be the fastest January for the first time in about 3-4 years. Well, I don't know what exactly they mean. It is not as if that January has added more shorter hours, I don't know. But I guess, like what I was discussing with a colleague of mine this morning, maybe you've been so busy and you've got some money to spend. So when you have some money to spend and you've been busy, definitely you think that the month is so short. That's just the way it is. All right, so I want to start this morning by congratulating students that are going to be matriculating this morning into University of Benin. We understand that the matriculation comes up this morning, and I understand that the joy of most parents knows no bound when you get to know that your own child is matriculating into a tertiary institution. And of course, I am using this as a congratulatory message to all those that are matriculating, and also to let them know that the only thing that they are there for is to study their books. It's education and nothing outside education. And also to want to say a very big thank you to the authority of the University of Benin for working according to time. You know, the matriculation that we understand that would have been before December, but because of time and all that, it has to be extended to today. We understand that a series of orientation programs have been going on, depending on the faculties and all that, and that's just the way it is. So it culminates today with the matriculation for the 2025-2026 admitted students into University of Benin. All right, still on education, today in Benin, our discussion segment is going to, we're going to be looking at the honorary award that the federal government has given to 12 teachers in the country. You know, it is often said that teachers' rewards are in heaven, but it's a nice one to know now that the federal government is recognizing their contributions towards national development. So in an attempt to strengthen the education sector in the country, just only yesterday, the federal government gave honorary award to 12 teachers in the country. So we're going to be discussing that this morning, and we intend to have the Honorable Commissioner for Education in Edo State, talking about Paddy Iyamon. He's going to be joining us virtually, and also to also see some things concerning education in Edo State and also in Nigeria. Please ensure that you let your television set, let it be on this channel, because it's something that you will not afford to miss. All right, so I'm not alone on this program. I have my co-anchors. Lagos is there, and of course Abuja is there. And I have Inolata Nusakai here with me on the corporate training segment. All right, so we'll take a short pause now so that we let Inolata Nusakai come on board as he tells us what we need to know today in our corporate world. Please stay tuned.
Some days, there comes the Ugemobo Festival, which the Oba celebrates outside the palace gate. A pavilion is built of red cloth where rites are performed to drive away all evil spirits still unsatisfied by the year's sacrifices. The Ugemobo Festival is to commemorate an event in Benin history which dates back to 1504 AD.
Yari yari, Ọba Tope.
Is still my amiable name, and I'm delighted to come your way this morning and add premium value to your day add value to what you do as a career person, as a business owner, as an NGO practitioner. I'm always here every Wednesday since the last 16 years to make sure that I help you to achieve your next level of growth. And you know, I've been on this series on driving workplace productivity with emotional intelligence. And you started looking at how to leverage the pillars of emotional intelligence to drive workplace productivity. Remember, emotional intelligence is your ability as a leader to achieve workplace emotional stability with the knowledge of how to manage your emotions and the emotions of your people. And there are 5 pillars of emotional intelligence, which some also call 5 components of emotional intelligence. We have self-awareness, we have self-regulation, we have motivation, we have empathy, we have social skills. And last week, from a case scenario perspective, you know, we looked practically on the self-awareness, component or pillar of emotional intelligence. Today, we are going into self-regulation. That is what we are going into today. No, as human beings, we all have biological impulses that drive our emotions and influence how we feel. Now, we cannot eliminate these biological impulses, but we can control them. And this is where self-regulation comes into the conversation. Self-regulation is your ability to control or redirect disruptive impulses and emotions so as to adapt behaviors for optimal results. You may want to document that, so I will just take that again. Self-regulation is the ability. Remember, self-regulation is a pillar of emotional intelligence. It's the second pillar. The first pillar is self-awareness. The second pillar or component is self-regulation. Self-regulation is the ability to control or redirect destructive emotions and impulses so as to adapt behaviors for optimal results. Self-regulation is the ability to lead and manage yourself for maximum output. Now, if you cannot lead yourself, then you cannot lead other people. Self-regulation is the ability to lead and manage oneself for better outcomes. Very, very important. Now, self-regulation is the foundation of leadership. And that foundation of leadership is your ability to lead yourself. And many of the negative outcomes you see, many of the disruptions sometimes you see in organization, in the workplace, is because of the lack of self-regulation. And you know, this morning we are looking at self-regulation, a key pillar or component of emotional intelligence. And like I said, we are going to be looking at it, you know, from a case scenario perspective, and we are going to be situating that case scenario in a state government-owned hospital in Nigeria. Remember, self-regulation is the ability to control or redirect destructive emotions or impulses so as to adapt behaviors for optimal results. Now, this is the case scenario in action, a self-regulation case scenario in action at a state government hospital. So I will just read the case scenario. We'll look at it together and we see how self-regulation was practically, you know, used to remedy a very serious situation in that particular state government hospital. Now, I read thus. It is a busy weekday morning at the accident and emergency unit. A patient who was rushed in during the night died while awaiting emergency surgery. By morning, the situation escalated. Family members began shouting and protesting in the hospital premises. A video accusing the hospital of negligence and incompetence started circulating on social media. Nurses and junior doctors felt threatened and stopped engaging with patients. The hospital environment became tense and chaotic. The chief medical director, the CMD, was urgently summoned. Under intense pressure, the CMD felt angry and embarrassed. Now, the natural impulse was to shout at doctors and nurses, publicly blame the theater staff or nursing unit, order security to forcefully disperse the family, issue emotional statement to the media. Now, the dangerous thing is that any of these actions could have worsened the crisis. Now, this is a natural tendency, the natural impulses, you know, that the impulse that would have just happened. But the CMD did not told her out. He did not follow that part. He brought in self-regulation into the conversation. Now, remember, self-regulation is your ability to control and redirect, impulsive emotions towards ensuring that optimal result is achieved at the end of the day. Now, this is the self-regulation moment in this case scenario in that particular state government-owned hospital. The CMD paused, took a deep breath, and consciously chose to control his emotional reaction. He calmly told the management team, "This is a painful situation. We must stay calm, understand the facts, and respond professionally." That is self-regulation, in display. Now look at the result. That emotional restraint immediately reduced tension among staff. Rather than shouting, the CMD spoke firmly but calmly. He reassured frightened nurses and junior doctors. He instructed security to maintain order without aggression. He asked for facts, not excuses. Because the CMD remained composed, self-regulation. Because the CMD remained composed, staff felt safe to speak honestly. Through calm discussion, the following facts emerged. The theater generator failed briefly during the night. A backup power switch was delayed. There was a shortage of on-call anesthetic staff. The emergency response protocol was not followed promptly. Now, how were these facts, how did they come up? How did we gain this fact? It was because the CMD engaged self-regulation. He remained composed. Self-regulation created space for truth and accountability, not fear. With emotions under control, the CMD took clear actions. Immediate technical review of power and theater systems, emergency deployment of additional anesthetic staff, temporary suspension and retraining of duty officers involved, a compassionate meeting with the patient's family to explain findings, a factual internal report to the Ministry of Health. Look at it. No insults, no threats, just leadership, courtesy of self-regulation. Self-regulation, remember, is the ability to control impulsive emotions towards ensuring that optimal result is achieved at the end of the day. And that is what the CMD, the Chief Medical Director of this particular state government-owned hospital in Nigeria, displayed. Outcome of self-regulation by the CMD. Outcome of self-regulation by the CMD. Tension within the hospital reduced significantly. Staff regained confidence and resumed normal duties. The family calmed down after transparent communication. Hospital emergency protocols were reviewed and strengthened. Public confidence was gradually restored. Now, what is the leadership lesson here? The leadership lesson here is that self-regulation is not emotional suppression, but emotional mastery. Your ability to master your emotion, regulate it, control your impulses. Now, by controlling his emotions, the Chief Medical Director protected staff morale, ensured accountability, and restored order. So, your takeaway here today is that self-regulation enables leaders to think clearly, act fairly, and protect lives. Now, this is the power of self-regulation, a key component, a key pillar of emotional intelligence. Remember, emotional intelligence is your ability as a leader, to ensure workplace emotional stability with the knowledge of how to manage your emotions and also manage the emotions of your team members. And this is exactly what the CMD, the Chief Medical Director in this particular state government-owned hospital in Nigeria, displayed. And this is what all of us should emulate, especially as leaders and would-be leaders, in order for us to ensure that optimal outcome is achieved at the end of the day. I believe that profound value have been added to you today. You want to ask some questions, make inquiries. That is why my email is right there on the screen, inuagata@gmail.com. Send your questions across, send your inquiries, and then I respond straight to you. I'll be seeing you next week, Wednesday, to continue on this trajectory. And when I return, my name will still be the amiable Inuagata No Sahai. Your day is so blessed. Thank you.
They say love has come,
But maybe, just maybe, it's only a scam.
Some days, there comes the Ugemobo Festival, which the Oba celebrates outside the palace gate. A pavilion is built of red cloth where rites are performed to drive away all evil spirits still unsatisfied by the year's sacrifices. The Emobo Festival is to commemorate an event in Benin history which dates back to 1504 AD.
Yari yari, ọba àtọ́pẹ́. Yari yari, ọba yari
The Oba of Benin added a colorful mood to the year's celebration as he walks round the city center amidst cheers.
This is an Egbete community situated in Isako Central Local Government Area of Edo State. It is an agrarian community with united people that promotes unity and oneness for peaceful coexistence.
Thank you one more time. Still the program this morning on ITV. Let's quickly see the papers this morning before we start taking our discussion segment. And our first port of call is the Nigerian Tribune, where we have series of headlines and series of stories this morning. And we have a by-election of Fubara refutes allegation of supporting ADC candidates. And you can get that on page 3. That's at the top left corner on your screen. That's the first story there. Then CBN rejects 4.9 trillion naira OMO bids to tighten liquidity and stabilize the yields. And you can find that on page 5. LCCI laments as national grid collapses again, and second time this year, on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Then the big bold headline, Tinubu seeks 110 justices for appeal courts, 90 for federal high courts. You can actually get the story to read on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Then the writer to that story is proposes electronic virtual transmission of court proceedings in amendment bill, and they want Oyewole confirmed as justice of the Supreme Court. That's the big story on the Nigerian Tribune this morning. That's at the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Tinubu seeks 110 justices for appeal courts and 90 for federal high courts on page 3. Then also still on the front page, Nigeria's new economic model under Tinubu to drive higher GDP figure. That is from the IMPI. That's the story on page 3 of the Tribune. Industrial court orders FCTA workers to suspend strike, also on page 3. And then Nigeria consumes over 2.5 billion liters of sachet water annually. And that's a recent revelation from the federal government. You can get that story to read on page 13 of the Tribune this morning. Tinubu stumbles in Turkey, no cause for alarm. And that's from presidency. I've actually seen series of that now. Tinubu stumbles in Turkey, no cause for alarm. And that comes from the presidency. The writer to that is that explains he stepped on a metal on the floor. Lost his balance briefly, and of course, as he holds talks with President Erdogan. Now, we have seen, that. I mean, a one-time U.S. president also did that. I'm talking about Joe Biden. Joe Biden, if you see some of the videos, you'll see where Joe Biden was actually, he was going up, climbing his presidential aircraft. And of course, he missed his step. And there's no big deal. It can happen to any person. That's just it. There's no big deal. But it becomes a story because the president, I don't know. The president is a human being. He's a human being just like you. So it can happen to any person. So there's no big deal if the president stumbled. And of course, the presidency has said that he stepped on an object and he lost his balance. So that's just the way, and there's no big deal about that. All right, so away from the Nigerian Tribune now, we have the next story now. That's on the Daily Independent. And the Daily Independent this morning is an export of coal. And our top story on the Daily Independent, Atiku Arigbeshola, Mark Ase Tinubu. All right, so on the Daily Independent one more time, we have Atiku Arigbeshola, Mark Ase Tinubu's admin worst in decades. And the writer to that is governors cannot sway elections. Arigbeshola assures. Then I was almost assassinated because of loyalty, and that comes in from Atiku. And the Nigeria Governors Forum did not champion doctrine of necessity. David Mark is of that opinion. All these are the writers to the top headline: Atiku Arigbeshola, Mark Ase Tinubu's admin worst in decades. All right, so let's go over to our Lagos studio now so that we continue with the paper review segment on the program this morning on ITV. And we'll have Patricia there and the guest. Patricia. All right, thank you. The program still right here on Independent Television, and we have our paper reviewer here, looking at the papers as we go after one after the other. Now, our next port of call is the Daily Independent, where we have Atiku, Aregbesola, Maxey, Tinubu's administration worst in decades, and we'll have various riders to that. Governors cannot sway elections, Aregbesola assures. Then I was almost assassinated because of loyalty. Atiku is of that opinion. The Nigeria Governors Forum did not champion doctrine of necessity, and that comes in from David Mark. All right, let's see what will happen about that now.
Yeah. Hello, good morning. Hello? Hello?
All right, thank you.
Okay,
I can hear you. Just speak further.
Okay. Yes, okay. So, what I find most interesting on the Daily Independent, there is this issue of what Aregbesola said, that governors cannot influence elections. And to a very large extent, I agree with him, because a lot of the governors are moving, and not necessarily moving with the support of the voters. And you find in many cases, some of them are people who were put in there by godfathers, and so when they move, they just move. And there are a lot of them who are moving only because either they want to be free of their godfathers, or they have things that they are afraid that if they don't join the ruling party, it might be used against them. So we've seen governors use elections before. So, and Aregbesola is a former governor. So he should have an idea what he's talking about.
Let's quickly see the next story, the one that has to do with the Onitsha market closure. We saw that some few days ago, whereby the Anambra State Governor Charles Soludo closed the popular Onitsha main markets. And Sage Okorie criticized Soludo's closure of Onitsha markets. You can actually find that on page 7 of the Daily Independent this morning. Now, I think that is also a talking point, also considering the amount of, money that would have been lost throughout the closure of the Onitsha main market.
Okay, just permit me to be a bit humorous here. If you touch an Igbo man's market, you have touched his very nerve, So, but on a serious note, it has implications for
not just the local economy, but the national economy, because Onitsha market feeds, a lot of the country and beyond. There are people who come from Lagos, from West African countries, and from all over to that market. And for every single day, the market is closed. Even if it's for an hour, a lot of money is lost. And I expect that the governor, as an economist, we should know better. But maybe it's a show of power. He probably wants to show who's in charge. But I think that was one that was taken too far.
Right, so I don't want to say controversial Wike now, but we have a story that has to do with him, and that has to do with the striking FCT workers. That's the workers that are on strike in the Federal Capital Territory. And Wike is saying that resume work or face sanctions. Wike tells striking FCT workers. Now, he is the FCT minister, but I don't know, some will say that he's not the Minister of Labor and Productivity. So I don't know what you may have to say about that.
Okay, so I think that Wike is stretching his luck too far. There's a saying that pride goes before a fall. I hope that's not going to be the case with him. I've read where the workers say Wike is nothing without them, and indeed a table is nothing without its legs. And I also have had the privilege of speaking with one of the workers from the FCT when I heard about what happened. And one of the things I was told is that, he doesn't care about the workers. He works with consultants. He has brought in consultants for almost every job and for almost every department. And at the end of the day, the workers there are, in a way, redundant. Maybe that's why he is feeling that arrogant. But I think that for whatever it's worth, he's an employee, even if he's an appointee, but he's an employee of the FCDA like everybody else, and their welfare should matter. The FCDA is, I think that it is a nerve center of this country today, and if you ground it, a lot of things are going to be affected, because that is a seat of government. You don't want any arrests, you don't want any instability there. I think he should be sensitive. He cannot carry his insensitivity or arrogance to that extent. No. And I think both parties should respect.
All right, now, so that's all time will permit us to take on the paper review segment. And want to say very big thank you, sir. Joining us all the way from Lagos this morning. All right, so the program is still this morning on ITV. Let's go over to Abuja now, where Tolu Lokpe is right there. Tolu, a very good morning to you.
A wonderful morning to you, Evan. So good to be with you this morning right there. And I'm taking a look at some of the major headlines on the front pages of the dailies, while I certainly set the tone for today. I'm not forgetting, from the Abuja Network Studio, we'll surely be looking at education right there, creating opportunities for young Nigerians who are hoping they can take their game to the next level through quality education. That is what we'll be looking at this morning from the Abuja Network Studio right there. Evan.
Okay. All right, so talking about education, we also intend to look at it, from Benin here, whereby the federal government has, is giving national awards to teachers this time, about 12 teachers in the country. Against the backdrop and against the belief that teachers' rewards are in heaven, but right away now, they are not politicians, they are not technocrats, and of course, they are just ordinary teachers. The federal government is giving them honorary awards, and that's what we're going to be talking about this morning from Benin. All right, so we take a short pause now so that all the segments of the program will come your way. Don't forget the program is still this morning on ITV. Please stay tuned.
some days, there comes the Ugemobo Festival, which the Oba celebrates outside the palace gate. A pavilion is built of red cloth where rites are performed to drive away all evil spirits still unsatisfied by the year's sacrifices. The Ugemobo Festival is to commemorate an event in Benin history which dates back to 1504 AD.
The program still this morning on ITV on independent television, and it's a good one to know that teachers' rewards is beginning to become tangible right now. I mean, against the backdrop that a lot of persons have always believed that teachers' rewards is in heaven. But we have the federal government of Nigeria, about 2 days ago, calling about 12 teachers to give them rewards, national honors for that matter. And that's a major talking point this morning. Now, strengthening the education sector in the country has become something that all of us almost talk about. I mean, most of the 3 tiers of government, they have a responsibility to ensure that education is strengthened in the country. This morning, we are so privileged to have Honorable Paddy Iyamu, and he's joining us virtually on strengthening education in Nigeria. Then also we cascade it down to Edo State and also talk about the national awards. Now, Honorable, you're welcome to the program this morning on ITV. Can you hear us, sir? Honorable Paddy Iyamu. Okay, all right, the program still this morning on ITV on independent television. Let's quickly see 1 or 2 informations that we are following, talking about the need to strengthen education sector in the country. Now, the information that we are following is that the federal government, so let's see now that the federal government has awarded 12 outstanding teachers across 6 geopolitical zones with 350,000 naira in recognition of their dedication, innovation, and of course, impact on Nigeria's education sector. And also, too, the awards were presented on Tuesday by the Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, at the Nigeria Teachers Summit 2026 in Abuja with the theme Empowering Teachers, Strengthening the System, and of course a national agenda for education transformation and sustainability. So you see that the federal government, trying to encourage the teachers. All right, so we have Honorable Paddy Iyamu now, the Commissioner for Education in Edo State. Sir, you're welcome to the program. Can you hear us, sir? Can you hear us? All right, so they will get to join him later so that we get to hear from him. So we were trying to look at, setting agenda for education and transformation, and also sustaining the need to develop the education sector in the country. And we understand that during the summit that we are talking about now, that's the 2026 summit, Teachers Summit in Abuja, whereby the federal government had to give 350,000 naira each to 12 teachers. Now, you will recall that this has been a major talking point for quite some time in the country, and even among those that just see that the teaching profession is a no-go area. I mean, you look at the way that students seek for admission into tertiary, institutions and all that. Nobody wants to do anything that has to do with the teaching profession. The belief is that teachers don't get handsome reward in terms of, it even starts from their monthly remuneration, their monthly salaries and all that. But right now that we're beginning to have rewards coming from the federal government, I think it's a good start and is a good one to know. But we still understand that there is still a lot to be done. I mean, take for example, where we still have a very not too encouraging, amount of money set aside yearly for education in our annual budget. a lot of analysts are saying that education budget should be one of the highest in the country, because that's only one sure way that you can improve on, education, that you can really sustain anything that has to do with development in education in the country. All right, so let's see if we have the Commissioner for Education now. Let's see if we have him now. Yeah, Honorable Paddy Yabo, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Yeah, I want to start by thanking you. I know it took you a lot of efforts to join us this morning, and it shows that you are really willing to do your job. I mean, we're talking about education. Now, what is your immediate response? We hear that the federal government has awarded 12 teachers, more or less like a national award now, with about 350,000 naira each. What's your major response to that in the first place?
Okay, good morning once again. I think it's a welcome development, and to set the record straight, it's not 350, it's 25 million naira per person in each geopolitical zone. And the overall best went home with 50 million naira. From Edo State, we thank God we were part of those that went home with the star prize. One of our own, Eugene, won 25 million naira yesterday, and we all celebrated at the banquet hall. So for me, it's a welcome development. Also yesterday we launched at the federal level another program, to ensure that all the teachers are well motivated to pass on the required knowledge to our children. So it's a welcome development. It's something that will boost the morale, of the average teacher all over the country.
Okay. All right, now, in an attempt to look at, trying to strengthen the education sector in the country. Now, you are in the education, business and all that. You will notice that people are really not interested. Youngsters are not interested. I mean, if you take a look at the admission that admission seekers seek for in tertiary institutions, nobody wants to do anything that has to do with education. Where do you think has Nigeria as a nation, where do you think we have missed it? Where have we got it wrong?
Okay, I think in time past, okay, you could be right, but right now with the policies and programs that even at the federal government level and even the state government level we are putting in place, we're encouraging more people, to take it as, a profession that can, meet their set targets, even as individuals. For instance, I take a typical example in Benin. In Edo State, we have people who were casualized for 3 years, in the name of contracts. His Excellency, upon assumption of office, made sure that their appointments were ratified, and today they are full staff of the Ministry of Education, fully integrated into the civil service. And we have several programs, to motivate them, as it were. The federal government also launched another program where even as a teacher, you can also have your skill that can also generate money for you as well. So a lot of programs are being developed. The teaching profession that is highly condemned, the education, those that go into education fully, I've not seen that it's light at the end of the tunnel. So I think we're in the right direction. The right leadership is in place, and the right programs, the right policies, have been developed for the sector.
All right, so let us go to Abuja now, where my co-anchor also has one or two questions. Tolokbe, you may come in with a question now.
Yeah, talking about what decision taken by federal government when it comes to recognizing the contribution of teachers right there. A lot of people are also wondering, when you look at the numbers of teachers that are being recognized, compared to the numbers of teachers across the country and those who are doing well. Some people think this is just a drop in the ocean. What do you make of this?
Okay, I will not, when somebody has done something right, it's good that you commend it. It has never happened before, and it just started. We just got started, and we believe, that it will be done on a larger scale as we go along. A teacher also went home with a brand new car yesterday. Another one went home with, a fully furnished, apartment. One thing in Nigeria, if you have the right persons in power, it will give a new direction. Now, the president's wife, who was in attendance, made it clear that she was a teacher. The governor of, I think, Borno was a teacher. The Minister of State for Education at the federal level was a teacher. So right now, these are people that have passed through. If you are not even going to use anybody as a case study, the wife of the president, the first lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And if you recall, during her last birthday, she also made sure that she raised about 50 billion thereabouts for the library, all in the same drive to make sure that we put education on the map. So with what we have started now, which I believe that state governors are going to copy, because the houses and the cars yesterday, the Ogun State governor gave out, the house to the teacher. The other governors, I think, even Borno added 5 million for the teacher. So you can see the direction. Immediately, we, as a people, once we have direction, you see that people follow suit. So I believe that it's something that is commendable, owing to the fact that it has never happened before, And right now, everybody, both from the state government level or the local governments, we are keen in to make sure that we give the teachers, a better welfare package. Because once the teacher is happy, even the classroom, the student, the learning outcome, will also be positive.
All right. Now, Honorable, now you mentioned that the state governors will key in. Now, let's cascade it down to Edo State. There's no doubt that the present governor is embarking on massive infrastructural development, but that seems to only be directed towards roads. Now, what is the state governor doing to the plight of teachers? What I'm saying simply is that a lot of teachers in the rural settings in Edo State, today, they still leave Benin City to their rural locations where they work on daily basis because of lack of basic infrastructure. I mean, if you go to the stations where these teachers are based, no modern, facilities, no pipe-borne water, no electricity and all that. Now, is the state government aware of this?
Okay, thank you very much. You see, this is a particular area that I'm very excited about because I must say that at those states we have the best governor that anyone can wish for. Talking about roads, you mentioned that roads, the governor is particular about roads. Once you have roads, you have water in all the communities in those states. Of course, the teacher in those communities will benefit. Then coming into the education sector, it's not just roads the governor is concentrating on. We have built close to 100 schools, remodeled, rehabilitated and refurbished, over 100, and even in some cases built some from the scratch. So the governor has, taken education as a core mandate. And if you recall as well, when he came into office, he declared a state of emergency on schools. And what we are seeing today is a breath of fresh air. And I'm able to tell you that even the teachers in the rural areas are benefactors because majority of them, didn't even were earning 30,000 in this modern day and age. Now they are now fully integrated into the civil service, as I earlier mentioned. If you go to the tertiary institutions, we had backlogs of salaries, backlogs running into billions. The governor has cleared all of them. I will even refresh your memory with the defunct, College of Education, where teachers who labored all their lifetime for the education ecosystem were laid off. At the end of the day, the governor said we should go and do the calculation. Well, when we finished, it was about 4.6 billion naira. And even as commissioner, I was afraid because this was a debt that he didn't incur. But when we went to him with the report, he said, okay, they have labored. They have spent, the better part of their lives, teaching these children. We can't abandon them. But I'm going to pay in 2 tranches. And as I speak to you, we have paid over 3 billion of that money. So it shows you a man who has empathy for even those that are not even in the system. Talk more of those who are here. So all the teachers in those states, they are in for a beautiful ride because aside the payments of prompt payment of their salaries, those that were on contract, about 4,000 of them have been integrated into a civil service, now earning well like their mates. Those that are termed community teachers, we have also employed them. We employed over 1,000 of them. We have also employed additional 1,000. So about 6,000 teachers have now fully been integrated into the system. We also have cases where people have their arrears. Even last year, the teachers were all dancing because they even enjoyed 13th month, as individuals. So there are enormous benefits of the Monday Pueblo administration that all the teachers will be happy. They are already happy and they will be happier. As we have also trained them in tech skills to bring them up to speed and not leave them behind where they will not be able to compete with their contemporaries all over the nation. So a lot is in stock. Schools are being built, teachers are being trained, teachers are being motivated, teachers are being moved from contract status to full staffs. All their backlogs of arrears have been paid, So we even have more programs for them this year that we're already closing in on. And soon enough, we'll also unveil that as well.
All right, now for us in the media, when we have a big fish like you, we take all out, to ask questions because we know that it's a very rare privilege. Now, you just talked about the 13th month. Now, how correct is it that some teachers were not captured in that 13th month, Christmas bonus, that's what you call it now. Now, if that is true, what was the parameters that the state government used in capturing teachers into that benefit?
No, I think all the teachers in those states were captured. We had a delay in terms of those that were from the local government angle, but I think we later sorted all out. So we don't have any of such complaint.
All right, now let us talk about your plans as a government to employ more teachers, because as we speak now, most schools are still in dire need of teachers. You go to our rural settings, we still have a situation whereby a full school, they don't have the complementary amount of teachers that they are supposed to have. I mean, take for example, some schools, they have just maybe 2 or 3 teachers attending to more than 3 subjects. What are the plans by the state government to ensure that more teachers are engaged in the teaching profession in Edo State?
Okay. Just as I earlier mentioned, we are in the right direction. Bringing in 6,000 fully motivated staff into the system to galvanize the education ecosystem is something that's highly commendable. The governor also made it clear, I think in one of our outing in December, that we're also going to employ more. And we are looking at the books. We are doing the needs assessment across our schools, to see the gap so that we don't just employ people, and just move them into the system where people even have more and they don't need. So right now we are carrying out the needs assessment, across the 18 local governments with particular emphasis in the rural areas. So once that is completed, we'll submit the report to the governor, and he has made it clear that we are going to go outrightly to employ additional 3,000. So all hands on deck to make sure that, we close in on that gap. But we are not where we used to be. We are excited about that. And even though we are not exactly where, we should be, but we are not where we used to be. Because a governor who is concerned about the average of the child, is in office. I make both to also tell you that His Excellency the Governor, I don't know, many people do not know, but he's an IT expert. That was his main assignment before he went into politics. Today we are flagging off, a partnership with Google International, where we are going to put our children, in front of the international markets, where they will be able to earn even in dollars, even as the school in those states. So we have a lot in stock for both students and teachers. And we're excited to have a governor like Senator Monday.
Okay. All right, so let us join Tolu Lokpe now in Abuja again. He has one or two questions. Tolu.
Honorable Commissioner, we are living a time where moral decadence is all-time high, and also where people celebrate Yahoo boys and stuff like that. This recognition by federal government, how impactful do you think this will have on the education sector, especially for those who want to take up the teaching profession?
Please come back with a question. Sorry, I'm on the highway, so I couldn't get you clear.
Okay. Okay, let me come again. I said we are living at a time where moral decadence is at all-time high, and people celebrate people with dubious means of income, like Yahoo boys and the rest. This recognition by federal government, how impactful would it be on the education sector, and also for those who are thinking of taking up a teaching profession?
No, it's like I earlier mentioned, it's something that is highly motivating. We are happy with the development, and we're happy with the direction, of the government, both at the federal and the state level. Because for the teachers, they are better motivated. For those who are doing Yahoo, and with the introduction, I will also refresh your mind, even at the federal level, we have also introduced, skills where people can go to school, aside getting the certificate, you now have, a particular skill that you can also use when you leave school. In Edo State in particular, we also made it the policy that once you are leaving, the secondary education, you must have that skill certificate. We have trained all our teachers, in pedagogy and in AI, robotics and all that, so that they be able to, even in shoemaking, in furniture making and all that, so that they will be able to impact the required knowledge to our children. So when people know that they can be gainfully employed, the business of Yahoo, where you know that you will be arrested and you will be jailed, it will be a thing of the past. You can't have a meaningful, job or a skill where you can even create job. Then you opt for a profession or an illegal option where you will be arrested every now and then and be paraded on national TV as a thief. So I think both for the teachers, which you mentioned, if I got you rightly, the motivation with this program that was done by federal government is highly commendable, because the teachers will be happy to even impact knowledge, that the learning outcome will even be more positive. Then for the students, if they are well taught, because the quality of the students determines the quality of the teachers, determines the quality of the students. If they are well taught, and they have the quality education according to the United Nations mandate, of course, they will be better positioned to face the challenges that life may bring as they go along.
Education, learning activities were put on hold in Esan Central recently because of the insecurity issue in that place, in Esan Central of Edo State. Now, little wonder whether the state government has made adequate preparations to compensate for time lost. I understand that education in Nigeria is in the concurrent list, the federal government and also the state governments and all that. But we are looking at a situation whereby pupils and students of schools in Esa Central may have lost out. I mean, time, of learning compared to their peers, their colleagues in Edo South and maybe Edo North. So, is there is there a plan to compensate for time lost?
Okay, we had some unforeseen circumstances that came up. We didn't say it was insecurity, but we had to put up, clean up, and do some other things, as it were, some exigencies. And it was only for a week. So I don't think, if you look at it, it's not really something that you say is a month or 2 months, as it were. However, others where others are closing the section, they can have the 1 week additional to compensate for lost time. But as of today, the governor has done a lot. If you talk about the insecurity, there were several factors, both external and internal, and the governor has faced it head on. And all our children are better secured even as they go to school. The governor has bought over 150 Hiluxes, for security agencies to aid their mobility. The governor has also bought over 400 bikes, so that in places where the security agents can't access due to the rural nature, they'll be able to use the bikes to also navigate those areas. The governor has also rejigged the security architecture in Edo Central. Even the DPO that has been there, even with all the things that are happening, has been moved out. And a new leadership has been introduced in the Central. The governor has also provided other security architecture, drones and all that. Even some children were also saying that, oh, we saw a helicopter flying over our school and all that, because the governor cares, because the governor wants everyone to be safe, as it were. So we are in the right direction. The challenges are everywhere from Borno to Kaduna to Castina, but in those states, at least we have a man who is fit for the job and is doing the job and taking action decisively.
Okay, now talking about rejigging education in Edo State, now I'm going to bring your attention to a school in a rural setting, and please permit me, that happens to be where my own village, I'm talking about Iyura, Grammar School. Iyura Grammar School is located in Iyura, that's in Uzairwe, in Isako West local government area of Edo State. Now, that school is in a sorry state. There are not enough teachers, dilapidated structures, buildings and all that, and it is really not conducive for learning. I don't know if you will oblige me personally, Honorable Commissioner, to please try and visit that school with your team. I repeat again, the school is Iyura Grammar School at Iyura. Iyura is a village in Uzairwe in Etsako West local government area of Edo State. Are you aware of that school, sir? Have you been told that the sorry state that school is in?
Okay, Iyura Grammar School at Uzairwe. Is that correct?
Grammar School in Iyura. Iyura is a village in Uzairwe. Uzairwe is a clan in Esako West. Please draw your attention to that school. In the next question now. Now, what's the level of cooperation from local government? Because when we talk about education in Edo State, it seems we just heap everything on the state government. The local government councils, what is your level of participation with them? What is their cooperation?
Okay, thank you very much once again. For the first thing you mentioned, the Iyura Grammar School, I've noted it down. And we will also visit the school and see how we can facilitate it, So we have done over 100 schools, as I mentioned. So we have done, as a government, I don't think that's unprecedented. We have done quite a lot because of the governor's drive to make sure that all the children in those states are giving quality education. However, if that came for the governor did what they were supposed to do, I don't think your community will have that setback. But be rest assured that from Ososo even to Adenebude to Isako, and all the schools in the rural area, His Excellency will get to every part. When we went to Ososo Grammar School, even those that were in the opposition, I went somewhere in Abuja, and there's a man that he's not even a politician. He called me. I didn't know him. And he was like, that school has been dead for over 25 years. And he attended the school, but today, even without any politics, we are doing it. I make bold to also tell you that even the GM of one of the biggest oil companies in Nigeria, a person of Engineer Tony Atta, I got a call one day and he said, thank you for what you guys are doing in Ososo. So my regards to His Excellency. Why am I bringing these examples? These are interior villages in Edo State. But the governor is doing well, to see how we can revamp them. I will get to you. Then for the local government, we're also in touch with them. By next month, we're also going to be having a stakeholder section where we are going to be extracting some of these things and building and strengthening further our relationship so that we can better, meet the needs of our people.
So as we wrap up this discussion this morning, Honorable Commissioner, so that we can allow you to continue your journey. I mean, you said you had to stop because you're on the highway. Now, to be a national problem. I mean, I'd take, for example, a situation whereby the yearly budget for education in Nigeria seems to be just at the low end compared to other infrastructures, that needs attention.
Okay. For the budgetary provision, His Excellency is a man in such a way because if we exhaust the budget, I think as we all know, there's room for supplementary. If we find out that it's not enough for what we are doing, coming from ground zero, to these particular budgets, I would say that the government has direction, and the governor that we know, the governor that I know, if we have performed optimally with the budget, is going to make provision where necessary. So we rest assured that all hands on deck, and we don't have anything to worry about.
All right, so I want to say a very big thank you to you, Honorable Paddy Iyamu, for joining us on the program this morning and talking about ways that we can actually, strengthen education developments in the country. And we hope that when we extend our invitation to you again, you will oblige us.
Sure. I'm very sorry. I had to go to Abuja yesterday, for the teachers summit. I had to fly into Asaba this morning so that I can meet up the tech program for our students this morning. So sorry with the fluctuation here and there on my network.
All right, so we want to wish you safe journey back home in Jesus' name.
Thank you. Thank you. Amen. Thank you very much. Thank you for all you do for our people. Thank you.
Okay. All right then, program. Yeah, thank you so much. We've been speaking with Honorable Paddy Iyamu, the Edo State Commissioner and looking at strengthening education in Nigeria. Then we talked about the national award that the federal government has given to 12 teachers. Now, each of the teachers is set to get 25 million naira each, while the overall best performing teacher nationwide is going to receive 50 million naira each. So you see that I said it a while ago that against the backdrop, against the belief that teachers' rewards are in heaven. So we are beginning to have a situation whereby teachers' rewards are tangible. I mean, 25 million naira is not a joke. That is not what the teacher is going to be given to at the end of his retirement. That's not retirement benefit. It is just an award coming from the federal government. So I think it's also a way to let other teachers know that if you do your job diligently, if you teach the young Nigerians very well, you teach them well, definitely the federal government will reward you. Don't say that the federal government will not see. Eyes are everywhere. And we also want to thank the state governments across the country for the annual competition that they put forward to see that best teachers emerges. So you can never tell. You can be one of the best, and definitely you'll be rewarded. All right, so this is where we'll anchor this discussion this morning. Don't forget the program is still this morning on ITV, and other segments will come your way. Please stay tuned.
Ugieni Madonna, Imazedion, Overo, Ovesniagbe, Emanazo, or Ugieni Madonna.
You will have to serve the community for 30 years before you come to this stage. They will ordain you or your title. Then by then you are one of the elder.
This year now, we don't read the year, so that's why we can do this year.
Historically, joining the Elders Council, an individual must have reached a certain age and must have made significant contributions to the community through leadership, service, or other meaningful ways. There was jubilation in the community as sons and daughters of Okada, both at home and in the diaspora, trooped out to be part of the ceremony with various homes of the initiates agog with festivities. Friends and well-wishers of those initiated into the Elders Council jubilated at the Ogwedion after performing all traditional rites. The elders, known as Edion, in company with their loved ones, danced to their various homes where guests and family members were entertained.
ITV, certainly the best.
Omonoba Nedu Ukwakolopolo, Ewai II, Oba of Benin, stepped out majestically with loud crowd to perform the Sultan rites of his late mother, Queen Mother Ioba Omoni Ikoyeme, Ioba Ewai II, who departed this world 49 years ago. Isoton is a traditional rite of the procession in memory of the departed person's spirit in Benin Kingdom. It is usually heralded by public display of the departed person's influence during their sojourn on earth. The display of a human effigy symbolizing the departed royal matriarch was preceded by the Oba of Benin, who led the procession from his palace to the Emotan Shrine at King Square in Benin City, where he offered prayers for the repose of the soul of the Queen Mother, Ioba Ewai II. Thereafter, the priest assigned to the immortal shrine offered Oba Ewai II items for Isoton on behalf of his family. However, Chok, known as Uri, represented a mixed cheer from royal fans after ancestral spirits were invoked to bear witness and announce his arrival. On his way home, Oba Ewai paid tributes at various pilgrimage sites, including Queen Idia Tomb, the side Oba Market, where a cheerful crowd of traders abandoned their wares to catch a glimpse of the royal personage and join in the celebration.
ITV, certainly the best.
Top on the list of the initiates was the eldest son of the Esama of Benin and former governor of Edo State, Chief Lucky Nosakare Igbenedion, 11 of his siblings, namely Bright Ayamekwe Igbenedion, Honorable Charles Osemwige Igbenedion, Peter Osawari Igbenedion, Dr. Fred Osanwi Igbenedion, Barrister Mike Osarene Igbenedion, Efosa Douglas Igbenedion, Upoma Enes Igbenedion, Osawe Igbenedion, Edosa Igbenedion,
Right there still this morning on ITV, right there on the network of independent television. My name is Gutimei Tolulapay Gutimei, and on this segment we'll totally be taking a look at international pathway to global education and effort being made to give opportunity to young Nigerians to be able to compete globally and be employable wherever they are. Because in the light of this, the world is becoming a global village, and the future of work has become a topic of discussion across nooks and cranny of the world right there, with a lot of people talking about the employability of an average Nigerian youth and what it takes for us to be able to get to that level where, whether you are based in Nigeria, outside the shores of Nigeria, you can work in any part of the world. And it has to do with having the right tool and also getting the right education that can really be able to provide that pathway. This morning, from United States of America, I had a short video of Courtney Hall, who spoke about the opportunities that are available for so many people to be able to benefit, especially in the United States of America, despite the challenges. It said there is still opportunity for young Nigerians who are open, they can really be able to get the desired education in some of the Ivy League universities, talking about the likes of Harvard, Princeton University, and so many other top universities in the United States of America right there. And Courtney spoke to so many issues concerning that. And also right after that, I'll also be talking with Victor Gabriel, who is based in Nigeria, representative of Scova Education, also how to plan for the future ahead and also having the right education, even while still in Nigeria, before they move to United States of America. These are some of the things we will be looking at this morning, and also taking a look at the importance of having quality education, especially in this global age, and also making it possible for Nigerians to move from one part of Nigeria to outside, to Europe, to America, and to study, and also making it easy for them to be able to get that done right there. So that's what we'll be looking at from the Abuja Network Studio. But first, we'll surely be listening to Courtney Hall, who is a representative of United Pathways International, based in the United States of America, talking about the opportunities available for so many young people out there to be able to get the kind of education they've been dreaming of. Also, for some parents who are also looking at having their children study in one of the best universities of the world right there, and they are making that dream possible through Discover's education, and also trying to really ensure opportunities are there for the youth to take right there, not limiting their situation to because of the situation of where they are or where they are coming from right there. We'll take a quick break, then we'll come to Courtney Hall, who is going to talk to us about the opportunities available right here in the United States of America.
Richard didn't want to die, but he couldn't stop himself.
This morning Night TV. Now let's take a listen to Courtney Hall talk, who is a representative of University Pathways International, based in the United States of America, talking to us about it. We had a discussion with him last week on education and opportunities, and it still goes further to give us more insight to what young Nigerians who are all aspiring to study in Harvard can do to ensure that they get into Harvard and be able to study in some of the most prestigious universities in America. But let's just listen to Courtney on this.
My name is Colton Hall, and I handle strategic partnerships and philanthropy for University Pathways International, or as we're most commonly referred to and known as, UPI Study. UPI Study is headquartered right here in the United States in the state of New Jersey. I'm located right in the very middle of the United States in the state of Kansas. UPI Study is an embassy-verified global pathway for students all around the world to earn their first 2 full years of accredited college that they can then transfer into a university abroad, entering as a third-year student and finishing out years 3 and 4 either online or in person. As far as our actual academic program, it consists of over 70 college courses, all of which were developed by faculty from top universities including Harvard, Penn State, Rice, Brown, Cornell, and several other top universities as well. Our courses are also accredited by the American Council on Education and the National College Credit Recommendation Service, which means those who earn credit through our program can transfer their credit into around 3,000 U.S. universities, as well as hundreds in other countries including Canada, Australia, Ireland, the UK, and more. This program is both applicable for students and working professionals, really anyone looking to earn their first 2 full years of accredited college. We have 24/7 counseling and human support available for the students in our program. There are no entrance exams for our program, and enrollment is essentially guaranteed with a formal application. Alongside our college level coursework, we also include training modules in our program across various interests, including programming, career preparation, career essentials, as well as ACT and IELTS exam preparation. The purpose of us including these additional training modules in our program is to allow students to use these modules as a supplement to their college education and ultimately become a more well-rounded student. So the thing that really makes us special as an organization is our tuition. To give you some context, here in the United States, the average in-state undergraduate tuition is about $12,000 per year, or $24,000 just in tuition for 2 years of college. Now, our standard tuition for our 2-year college program is simply $4,000, $4,000 USD for the entire 2-year college program. Now, we do have an exclusive and exciting partnership with Scovers Education in Nigeria, which means that students who enroll through the Scovers UPI program can access our 2-year fully accredited college program for just $950 USD. So for less than $1,000, students who enroll in this program can complete years 1 and 2, their freshman and sophomore years of college, half of an undergraduate degree, and then transfer that credit into a university abroad and finish out whether online or in person. Ultimately, our goal is to reduce the financial barrier to entry for college for students both in Nigeria as well as students all across Africa in its entirety. And through our exclusive partnership with Scovers Education, we are looking forward to helping as many people as possible earn their first 2 full years of accredited college debt-free.
Welcome back right there. I haven't listened to Colton Hall talking about the opportunities and what they are doing at United Pathways to create opportunities for many Nigerians and Africans who are thinking about studying in United States of America, and also lessening the burden, the process and everything to make it smooth for them. And also joining me via phone this morning is Victor Gabriel, who is the representative of Scovers Education, the body based here in Nigeria, Abuja precisely, coordinating things for students who are hoping to study in the United States of America. A wonderful morning to you, Victor.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're just listening to Colton Hall talking about the opportunities for people to be able to study in the United States of America and what they are trying to do. And we know there's a little bit of challenges right now talking about United States of America. But what is Scovers Education doing to lessen the burden for Nigerians, despite the current issues being raised by the President of the United States talking about migration, people who come from Nigeria to United States, the challenges. What is Scovers Education doing to make that, to find a way around that?
Okay, so first of all, the ban that we have is a partial ban, which means it's for a stipulated period of time.
Okay.
The first phase of the ban was supposed to be for about 6 months, That's from January till about June or so. So we have hopes that by June or coming into July, the ban will be lifted. Yeah, so this is where UPI comes in, because Scovers UPI is a platform for students to begin to take their courses in the meantime, and whenever the ban is lifted, they can easily just apply for their visa and then move to the United States. So instead of staying and waiting for the ban to be lifted, you can start taking courses, and the moment the ban is lifted, you just go to the United States to continue instead of going to start. So this is where the whole program structure comes in. It's very flexible. You can take it at your own pace, finish as fast as you want, and then, in fact, some people can even finish a whole year's course in the next 6 months if they invest all their time into it. Yes, because the program is quite flexible. It's not easy. I will not say easy per se, because the coursework is very rigid. It was composed by some of the biggest faculties around the United States. So it is very rigid, but it's something that when you start and you dedicate time to, by the time you're done, you'll be able to compete with your counterparts who started in their 100 level in the United States.
I definitely want to know, what are some of the universities that Scovers Education is working with? We know we listen to Cotino, we also listen to Mark also talking some few weeks back. What are the universities that Scovers is working with?
Oh, okay. For UPI Pathways, there are over 3,000 universities around the world. Yes. And we have about 5 of them that are A-list universities. Okay. So for those who have dreams to go to A-list universities, we have 5 A-list universities that are on this beam. Like there is one of the faculty members is from Harvard. We have from Penn State University, from Brown University, from Rice University. These are some of the universities that we have on the team. So when you check the list of universities, you see about 5 A-list universities, meaning whichever one a student wants to go to eventually, you will have access to it by doing the UPI program.
Interesting right there. Talking about the opportunities being made available for many young people to really be able to benefit themselves and be able to study at the university of their choice, especially in the United States of America. Victor, now let's take a look at it. You also said you have a relationship with the embassy to smoothen this thing. Tell us what partnership you have with the embassy to also make this dream come true for Nigerians.
Okay, so we have, we're accredited by we're recognized by the United States Department of Commerce, which means apart from the fact that we can train students, or we can show our students what to do and the expectations of the embassy, there's also a recognition which gives our students a higher leverage. Yeah, because this recognition is not something that every organization in Nigeria has. It's exclusive for organizations that have been verified. Because literally after the whole verification process, we got a written note to that effect, like a certificate of some sort. So that gives us a higher standing when it comes to being able to prepare our students for the embassy. And because of that, we've gotten good numbers over the years. As bad as the acceptance rate is, many of our students are already in the United States doing the different courses that they went to do in the different universities. So I think that's also a plus.
Interesting right there, talking about it. I know you people have so many success stories. I saw a couple of videos of parents really doing it. These things you people are doing for young Nigerians who want to study abroad. What about those who are also thinking of doing masters? Is there an opportunity for them? Do you have something like that in store for those who want to do their masters?
Yeah, most definitely. In fact, from the UPI, one of the advantages that it provides is, for example, if you are doing computer engineering or computer science, and then you want to go for your master, but your current results cannot give you scholarships. Yeah, UPI allows people who have finished their bachelor's already to take courses on the UPI platform. And so, like, if it's the same course, then you would have the same courses. That's if it's the same department, you have the same courses. So you can take courses and replace the previous ones. Basically, when you're done with the 2 years workload, you print out your transcript, and then when you're doing evaluation on IELTS, on all of these evaluation platforms, ECE West, they would counter-evaluate it, which means if you have an A on the UPI platform and you had a D before in your previous results, the A will cancel out the D. It's just like using WAEC and NECO. Yeah, so this is one of the people who are want to go for masters but don't have a good enough result can benefit from the UPI platform. And also, of course, we have a lot of universities. So if a person's result is already good, we can just easily apply for them to get amazing opportunities outside Nigeria, whether they want a kind of scholarship or they want to be a research assistant, whatever deal they are looking for, we have the structures to fix them.
When I listen to the amount of money you are talking, it's like a new song to my eardrum. Consider the fact that because when you want to study abroad, let's take for instance UK, you should be talking about £15,000, £17,000. But Scovers Education is offering something far, far cheaper than that. How did you people come about that? Because I know there's a time you mentioned something like $3,000 you can be able to study abroad. How true is that? Is this real, Gabriel?
Yes, it depends on what the kind of offer that a person gets eventually. It's if a person gets a very good deal, then yeah. For example, one of our students that went to the United States, she just left this January. Yeah, that's of course before the whole ban came into effect. Yeah, so her tuition was supposed to be somewhere around $12,000, but after we got her a very great scholarship deal and a research assistant offer, she's going to be paying just $2,000. That's the deficit that is left. Yes. Yes. So all of these realities are possible. We just have to know what a person's unique desire is and then look at your results, evaluate it to see whether your results can give you what you're looking for, and then we find a way around it.
Interesting there. So what you are doing, it goes beyond just helping them to be able to live their dreams. You're also mentoring them, guiding them, putting them through. Is that not what you guys are also doing?
Yes, indeed. We literally have a counseling department. So usually when clients come in, we first of all would have a long conversation with you to know what you plan, where you are, and then from that we can counsel you. Sometimes, as crazy as it sounds, we might listen to your story and know that going outside Nigeria is not a good idea for you at that time.
Wow.
Yeah, so yes, as crazy as it sounds, we can even counsel you to stay for now until your plans are set straight so that you don't go outside and be stranded. So that's what the whole counseling team does.
Interesting right there. Really interesting. We're talking about what you people are doing to really create opportunities for so many people out there to be able to take their game. I must say big thank you to you, Gabriel, for joining us this morning. Hopefully, we can have more discussion next week also to talk about the opportunities that are available. And as you're looking forward to the recent restriction being put in place to get better. But are you optimistic that Scovers can be able to work around this restriction after about 6 months' time to ensure that people can be able to go to the United States?
Yeah, most definitely. The moment the ban is lifted, we'll begin again. Like I said, even in the height of visa denials, most of our students found their way to the US. So once it's lifted, we'll begin again.
Okay. I must say a big thank you to you, Victor Gabriel, who is the representative of Scovers Education, for joining us via phone this morning. Hopefully next time we'll be live in the studio. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much, sir.
You have a nice day. And that's Victor Gabriel right there joining us via phone to talk about global education pathway and also creating opportunity for so many people. We need a little bit of mentorship and counseling. They can be able to get you the right education right there. All you just need to do is to walk into the office and be able to take a lesson and get the needed information. So much from the Abuja Network Studio. We'll take a quick break right now before we link up with our Lagos Network Studio.
Some days, there comes the Uge Mobile Festival, which the Oba celebrates outside the palace gate. A pavilion is built of red cloth where rites are performed to drive away all evil spirits still unsatisfied by the year's sacrifices. The Emobo Festival is to commemorate an event in Benin history which dates back to 1504 AD.
Yari, yari, Oba Tope!
The Oba of Benin added a colorful mood to the year's celebration as he walks round the city center amidst cheers.
This is Anegbete community, situated in Isako Central Local Government Area of Edo State. It is an agrarian community with united people that promotes unity and oneness for peaceful coexistence. The inhabitants of the community migrated from Benin, the cradle of black civilization, a kingdom where king is truly king. The ancestors of Anegbete saw that age was the main determinant of leadership in the rural setting, and the eldest man in the settlement was regarded as the leader who presided over meetings, and his authority is held in high esteem. To further strengthen this unique system of leadership, age group evolved in Anegbete.
Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us on our Lagos Network studio on the continuation of TMI. I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and today we'll be looking at the defection of the former Vice President's son, Abba Atiku. Abba Atiku has said that no party or person can defeat Tinubu come 2027. Yes, this is what he declared. And then, I mean, it's been making waves all around Nigeria that the son of the former vice president of the country has defected from PDP to APC while the father is in ADC party. Is this a good sign for the father or not? We're going to be taking a look at that. And of course, I am not going to be discussing this alone. I have in the house, as usual, Dr. Victor Ohai, who is going to be helping us take a proper look into this, if it's going to affect the father's ambition, presidential ambition in 2027. Dr. Victor Ohai, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us, as always. Yeah. Okay, let's just go straight to the point. Abba Atiku Abubakar had said that no one can defeat Tinubu in 2027, including his father, who we are looking at having the ADC presidential ticket. How good is this for the father?
The optics are obviously not that good in the sense that it can be used against him. It can be said that if he does not have control over his own family, if he has a house divided, how can he then have a united Nigeria? How can he then control the country? But as you know, once a child is above 18, they can make up their mind and decide what they want to do, you know? And that is a fact. We have seen precedences before now. We saw Bukola Saraki with his father. I mean, we've seen, I mean, they're different. It's not, no matter what it's like, we have situations where two people who are, it doesn't matter how, they you know, they come from the same womb, and yet they have differing opinions. Bukola, for instance, and maybe his sister were in different and opposing camps. They were, you understand, they were siblings. He and his father, too, at a point in time, you know, they had differences. I'm just using as one example. We have had several other cases like that before, so it's not a big deal. However, like I said, the optics are not that good for him because of the way it might be used, but for diehard supporters, it doesn't make any difference.
Okay. He says one of his reasons that that made him to join the APC is because he wants to contribute to what he describes as the best economy and human reforms under this present administration. How true is this?
Well, okay, first of all, if you look at that statement very well, what he's simply telling you is Okay, let me start with it this way. The purpose of politics, I usually say to a lot of people, is to grab power so that you can effect change or push through your ideology or your vision. If you don't like your roots and you talk and talk, nothing is happening. You run for office so that you can come back and change the road, okay? Mm-hmm. There are parties abroad that you call the green parties, especially in Europe. Parties like that are for the environment. They're not interested in winning the #1 seat, but they want to be in parliament to be a voice for the environment, okay? So if you interpret that in the light of what he has said, then you want to say to yourself, what he's simply saying is, I want to be able to do certain things, and I need a platform that will help me do that. And from what I can see, the one platform that can give me that power, for sure, to be able to do what I want to do, which is what he said, to create change for his people and his environment, is the APC under the leadership of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So what he's saying in effect is, I want to do this, and if I stay where I am, I may not get it. If I say I'm following my father, I may not get it. I'm not sure my father will win. I don't know if you got what I'm trying to say. Remember my definition of what, or the way I try to describe what politics truly is, you know. So not definition of politics, but just what it is in terms of political run for office. And so it is to go in there to grab power or to have a voice to be able to effect change. For him, the one sure way is that, which is what I would usually say to a lot of politicians. And mind you, in Nigeria, politics is not ideologically driven. It's more like, you know, wherever it is that you are sure you can grab that power. So when people say politicians are not principled, I look at that and say, what do you understand by principle? For Nigerian politicians, principle is first to self. Where is that place I can stay and get what I want? If I stay with you, if my party is predominantly, let's say, PRP, I'm using that as an example, and then I say I'm talking principle, I will stay there for 100 years and I will not be able to grab power to effect change for my community. If I want change for my community, which is the strongest party, the strongest platform, that's how politics is practiced in Nigeria. Because there is no ideology. They are just platforms. Unlike what happens abroad where you have conservatives, liberals, and all that. It's not the same here, you know, so it's different. So in effect, what the young man is saying is, it looks like if I must achieve my aims, if I must be able to do what I want to do, this is the only platform that can do it for me. Whether he's right or wrong, time will tell. Okay, so whether he's right or wrong, time will tell. But my question is, he was in PDP and he was a member of the House of Reps. Is it that he couldn't perform while he was under PDP? Is that why he wants to move to APC so he could be in the cooking jar, so if you want me to use that word? Yeah. Because I do not understand why the party will affect him to perform in his constituency. In fairness, okay, first of all, if he's done well by his people, then there's no reason they will not re-elect him. Huh? If he has done well by his people. Exactly my point. Yes. But in today's Nigeria, if you look at what has happened to PDP in recent times, unless things change in the next couple of months and change fast too, it's just a shadow of itself. PDP is not the PDP of 1999 or the years, the 16 years or 15 or 14 years after 1999 until they were overthrown after 16 years. So look at it, he's simply done what other politicians are doing. Don't go down with a sinking ship. Okay, sir. I'm thinking, in my own opinion, I just think it's greed because he's been elected under the PDP and he's been performing, just like we said, if he was performing well for his people, he really doesn't need any party to, you know, to run to be able to be re-elected. Don't you think this is greed? Ask yourself, what is happening with all your governors? 30 of them now in APC. and they say, and still counting. Okay? Look at what happened in Kano. NNPP, we know, Kwankwasia movement is very strong in Kano. It's Naba Yusuf, the governor of Kano, rather, yeah, moved with 40 local government chairmen, all his commissioners but one, 9 members of the National Assembly out of 14, and they all moved. How is that different? They are not under any immediate threat. They have moved. In Rivers State, the same thing happened.
What is the reason for the move?
Well, what you call greed, I won't call greed. I would just say is, how do I put it now? Should I call it a survival instinct, or when I say survival instinct, I will always reference what Oshomole said when he was chairman of APC. He said, it doesn't matter if you have, well, this is me paraphrasing now, not his exact words. If you have committed atrocities, come over to to APC that your sins may be forgiven. So there are those who are coming so that their sins will be forgiven. And there are those who are coming because they have been assured that perhaps INEC is already settled. And so if they come, their results will be written. There are several reasons, hypothetically, but, you know, when you see an unusual thing, like you say, is it a chicken running data or whatever, something is chasing it. So there are reasons for this. But again, I think one thing that we need to also take note of is the fact that as adults, we come to our own, which is why I usually say nobody should brag that you trained your child well until he has come into adulthood, because then they will assert themselves. When they are dependent on you, you are paying their school fees, you are feeding them. You can dictate the pace. The minute they become adults, they are no longer dependent on you. Their true nature will come out. Their true personalities will come out. And that is what you see. That's when they decide what they want to do. You cannot dictate. You can't tell them where they should go. They will then decide what they want to do.
You can tell them where to go. Yeah. Okay, let's quickly look at his second reason of joining the APC. He says Nigerians have seen his good work. Speaking about the president of Nigeria, he says Nigerians have seen the good work of Mr. President. He's not a tribalistic person. He does not make appointments based on religion or region, but his decisions are purely on merit. What's your take on this?
It's highly subjective depending on who you're talking to. There are people in the core north who will not agree with you, who will say that all appointments are skewed towards the southwest, and you will not argue because they will give you reasons. There are those who will tell you that his is a government of cronyism, where it is the Lagos boys that are now ruling Abuja. They would have their reasons, they will, and they might be able to convince some people. He has also seen what he has seen, and which is why he has said so. And don't be surprised that he might get an appointment or something doing for the government very soon. So that's why I say it's highly subjective. It depends on who you're talking to. If you talk to 10 different people, they might have 10 different opinions. So that's a subjective opinion. It's not necessarily true for everyone.
Okay. All right. Abba Atiku is a youth, and a lot of Nigerian youths are looking up to him, and he has taken this decision and this stand. Do you think this will affect the minds of the youths come 2027 election?
Until now, I never knew him. I'm not necessarily considering myself a youth, but I don't know how many young people know him. Maybe in his community. Maybe, but before now, he was never in national limelight. Now he has come to national prominence and limelight. I don't know how much that would influence anybody. the youth of this country today have a mind of their own. There's this common joke that is being passed around that the reason that there's no uprising among the youth is because many of them are doing their cyber businesses, making their money online quietly, and nothing is affecting them. That the minute anything affects their money, their online income, you will see the interests of Nigerian youths in politics. It goes back to what I said earlier on. You will then see them taking an interest because they must get in there to protect their interests. Okay? So for now, they are not interested in politics. They are not. You can do whatever you want to do as long as you don't touch your online business.
But we have the obedient youths who,
obedient movement
and well, they are more of youths, yes.
Yes, it cuts across. So, would Atiku's son's opinion influence the obedient youths? I doubt. He would have to start his own movement. So these things cut across. I doubt that it's going to impact any youth. Maybe Adamawa youths, but certainly not. It's his opinion. It's his opinion.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Doctor. We have seen very recently how our politicians have been going around with their children, probably trying to introduce them into politics and then, contesting for some of the juicy offices. But this case, Atiku's son is, going a different way from his father. Do you think, or in your own opinion, do you think this could affect the father's mindset or, his preparation towards 2027?
I think the father lost him a long time ago, unless he's looking for inheritance. But once you become an adult, you have a mind of your own. I'll give you a small example. What you talked about, although you didn't mention names, but Wike, we know, is taking his son up and down. In fact, I saw a picture where he sat on an executive chair in the local government, chairman and another executive in the state were sitting down on plastic chairs. They were sitting down on plastic chairs, So they have elevated the young man because of the father. But I tell you what, that same young man, when he gets political office, if tomorrow, he becomes, maybe he has an elective office and all that, and he gets married, and the father says, resign your appointment, leave that place because he's quarreling with somebody. That young man has a wife. The wife is also thinking about their future and the children. She will tell the husband, he may be your father, but you are a man of your own. We have bills to pay. You understand what I'm saying? At that point, allegiance is no longer to father, but the eternal words of Fayose will come alive then. Stomach infrastructure.
Anyway, let's come back to 2027 general elections, especially the presidential elections, since we're talking about Atiku's son defection. Now we have almost all the governors of the state defected to APC. Does it mean that the presidential result is ready? Or do we have chances of other political parties, meeting up at least?
Let me start by saying I wish the president well. I wish him good health. But you say player, but he's president. Okay?
He's
human.
Okay.
He's human. We all are human. You have stumbled before. I've stumbled before. I've stumbled badly. Fortunately, there were no cameras.
Because you're not the president.
Yeah, so it didn't make news. Okay? So it's to tell you that tomorrow is not promised to anyone. I say so with every sense of responsibility. Tomorrow is not promised to anyone. If anyone told Buhari he would not be around now, he probably wouldn't believe it. He was probably looking forward to, first term of Tinubu, second term as well. He probably would have been looking up to after the election, say, what's going to happen in 2027 as well? But tomorrow is not promised anyone. And so if they say because all the governors are there, then Tinubu's coming back is assured, only God can determine that, Okay? I say only God because, yes, there's room for strategy, there's room for every planning and all that, but you don't own life. You don't own life. That is the exclusive territory of the Creator. Okay? No matter even doctors will tell you, we care, but God heals. Those immortal words you will find at the gates of Lagos University Teaching Hospital. You know, it's there. We care, but God, we care, but God heals. Yes. So when you look at that, no matter what his permutations and plannings are, no matter what APC's and Tinubu's permutations and plannings are, you can plan. It's God that executes. So I will repeat, tomorrow is not promised anyone, not even the next second. So, but under the circumstance, other things, as economists will say, ceteris paribus, other things being equal, well, it does appear like, yes, with 30 state governors, they're cruising home. But Aregbesola said it just a couple of days ago, that, and you can take him seriously because he's been an ex-governor, he's been a close ally of the president, although he's in the opposition right now. He says, having a governor does not guarantee you will have a state. And as you know, many of the governors are put in there by people. And the governors are like a table relying on legs. A governor is nothing without the legs, okay? It is people's votes that put you there. I remember what I said earlier on about politics. If in your area the ruling party is PRP, okay, and you decide, oh, I'm principled, I'm this, I'm that, and then you go and join another party without the permission of your people, you're on your own. Nobody will vote for you. You are only popular because you are in that party. The minute you move, you are using the machinery of that party. The minute you move, nothing happens. There are very few instances where a man makes a party, like what happened when the obedient movement went into, but otherwise, it is the structures that make the politician, normally and ideally. It's not the politician that makes if he builds a structure, fine, yes. So that's what it is.
That's what it is. But then again, I'm still hammering on this question because honestly, it's beginning to look as if Nigeria is moving towards one party nation. Okay, so how good is this for Nigeria as a nation?
The one-party thing is not healthy for us. In fact, I fear APC may implode. But you remember what destroyed PDP was because it was also moving towards the one-party state. There was opposition, all right. But what happens with one party is when people disagree and they cannot agree, they move out and when they move out, they create opposition for you. So everybody is moving into APC right now. They may all be moving there and say, okay, Asiwaju is their candidate, right? If tomorrow another big Iroko emerges and says, so, I also want to run for office within the same party, it splits it. But it may not just be that. There may be ideological differences that may ensue along the line. And you will find an implosion from within. You understand? What happened with PDP will happen again. Because you have weakened everywhere else. You have brought everybody into that platform, the good, the bad, the not so good, the ugly, and all. Everybody is in that place. There is nothing that ties them together other than their selfish interests. It's not the love of Asiwaju that is bringing them, I can assure you. Many of them are there because for them, not being there might pose an existential threat to their ambitions. So they come under that platform. So, you know, one party state, what it does is that it means there will be no, they're saying you do not get opposition. You're going to breed dictatorship without any doubt.
But is that healthy for us?
It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. Because the next thing you're going to see now is, and mark what I'm saying now, after 2027, we begin to see where they begin to say third term. Now we have stooges in the National Assembly who will be singing on your mandate will stand, who have forgotten why they are elected there by the people to create balance in the system and to represent the wishes of the people, not the wishes of the executive, you know. But now what they are doing is just whatever, as your lordship says, whatever the president says, it goes, no opposition. That's why I will forever be grateful to a man like who I consider one of our best Senate presidents. What's his name now? Bukola Saraki. Yes, he stood with the people. Whatever reason you want to give, I don't care about that. The important thing is that the executive would have to balance his books well before coming to the Senate. They will have their case well thought through before they come to present to the Senate, because they know there will be opposition. They never took that Senate for granted. I should be.
We hope we don't even drift into one party state, and that won't be healthy for Nigeria.
No, certainly not.
Okay, so to have I know into the you know, say to.
I'm hearing that because he has defected, therefore everybody, we love him so much. All of us will now. You know, I think it's true that politicians are incurable optimists. He must think so much of himself. He must think he's the most powerful and influential person or politician in Nigeria. So if he moves, everyone moves with him. Bravo.
You know, let me quickly ask you this question. Yes, like you said, he thinks so high of himself. If he moves, everybody moves with him. That is limited to his state where he's from.
He obviously doesn't think so.
Okay, but okay. Then we have his father, who is contending with, in the sense of having followers or, you know, supporters, as we might call them. Do you think his supporters, would not want to go back to his father, or he is going to have more supporters in his state where he's from? Let's limit him to his state than his father.
I'm not taking anything away from him, but the truth is he's nothing without his father. If he was not an Atiku, he probably would never have won an election. Maybe he would have. But I can tell you that he leveraged on his father's name and influence to become who he is, and to be able to get to a point where he can open his mouth now and say the things that he's saying. Who is he? Never heard about Abba in my life before. Take away the name Atiku, he's a nobody. Maybe now, yes, he has become somebody because of the offices he has occupied. And when I say nobody, I'm not saying, I mean, it's like not anyone we know of. I'm not diminishing his personal.
He's probably very well known in his state. Is where his constituency is.
I'm not in his constituency. I'm not in his state. I don't know him. Do you know him? Did you know him before now?
Well, as a journalist,
let's do a poll.
Yes, as a journalist.
Okay, you knew him before now.
Not personally, but I know his name as Atiku's son.
As Atiku's son?
Yes.
If you don't put Atiku, you don't know him. If you say, who is he? Say he's Atiku's son. So why don't we say Atiku is his father?
So, just before we round off, your one word on this. Are you saying it will not affect his father at all?
Honestly, Abba Atiku's defection will not change the price of fish in the market. Simple as that. It's his personal opinion, it's his personal decision, and it's for him to either win or lose. Time will tell. But if he's not careful, if he's running for office, he might not get back to office in his constituency because of what he has done.
Great. So one word for the youth, sir. What's the last word for the youth for today?
For the youth, I would say as we say in street parlance, you know, let me address them directly. As 2027 approaches, shine your eyes. Don't get fooled. Don't get carried away. Listen carefully, especially to what is not said and to what people are not saying. I would want to encourage youth, come out, contest. They not get 10 head. Okay? Somebody became president of this country at the age of 32, Yakubu Gowon. You might say it's by coup, but we've had people who became, you know, got into office at very, very young age. Until you try, you never know what you are capable of. Come out for 2027 and let's change Nigeria.
Thank you, Dr. Victor Ohai. Come out for 2027 and let's change Nigerians. That's Dr. Victor Ohai's message to the youth, and I think that is great and fantastic. We just have to come out, we have to try. Like I said, they no get in head. Thank you, Doctor, for being here today, as usual. Thank you so much. And thank you to our viewers for watching. I'm Patricia Uremu Gabriels.
A beautiful morning. Welcome to the news update on Independent Television. I am Ehoy Davis. Skills have been identified as the foundational tools that empower individuals to innovate, solve problems, and contribute to the nation's economic development. The Executive Secretary, National Board of Technical Education, Professor Idris Mohammed Bugaji, made the statement during the 13th edition of the Student Product Exhibition of Nigerian's premier private university, Igbinedion University, Okada. Pius Nsogo has details.
Sir David Osunde Center for Entrepreneurship Skills and Acquisition, Igbinedion University, Okada, was lit up with classy products and various items produced by the students. Over 13 departments ranging from School of Textile Design and Products, Catering, Desktop Publishing, Bridal Accessories, and others showcased various items produced by them, speaking on the theme From Classroom Concepts to Job-Creating Enterprise, a guide to establishing ventures that foster employment opportunities and transform the economic landscape of Nigeria. Professor Idris Muhammad Bugaji highlighted that Nigeria has serious depth of essential skills.
One item that I'm missing in our educational menu is the absence of skills and entrepreneurship. I'm happy this university is trying to address that gap.
In a remark, the Vice-Chancellor, Igbinedion University, Okada, Professor Lawrence Ezemoye, said the university is fortunate to be under the guidance of the Esama of Benin, a chancellor who is a titan of industry.
Let the academic knowledge be the foundation upon which you build practical market-ready solutions. See every challenge in our society, from waste management to food insecurity, from renewable energy to digital inclusion. See all of them as a business opportunity waiting for you.
The event featured special songs by the music school, Students Entrepreneur of the Year contest and tour of products exhibition by the Vice-Chancellor and his guests. In her speech, the Director, Center for Entrepreneurship and Skills Acquisition, Dr. Mary Josiah, said the center will continue to live up to expectations, while some students thanked the school for offering them such opportunities.
We have taught our students how to make money in the campus before they graduate. And because of that, many of them have business they are doing already.
We learned so many things. There's makeup, there's beads, there's fascinator, there's gele.
This is some of our work, and I learned this from my school, and I'm so grateful.
I'm from the School of Tailoring, and it was lovely.
Presentation of dance by School of Bridal Accessories, drama play by School of Desktop Publishing, and parade by School of Tailoring added color to the ceremony. From IUO Okada, Pius Nsogo, ITV News.
ITV and Radio have announced plans to hold their 2026 Stakeholders Engagement Meeting aimed at strengthening collaborations, reviewing service delivery, and discussing issues of mutual interest with key partners. Oluwafemi Farayola has details.
ITV and Radio is set to hold the 2026 Stakeholders Engagement Meeting. In a statement signed by the Managing Director of Independent Television and Radio, Engineer Elvis Obaseki, the meeting is scheduled to take place on Wednesday, January 28, 2026 at the Eizwa Hub, located opposite the ITV and Radio Corporate Headquarters, Glass House, along Airport Road, Benin City. According to the statement, the engagement is expected to commence promptly at 10 a.m., while invited guests are advised to be seated by 9:30 a.m. Management of ITV and Radio said the meeting forms part of its commitment to fostering stronger relationships with stakeholders and improving service delivery across its platforms. Oluwafemi Farayola, ITV News.
Ahead of the kickoff of the third edition of CADA Unity Cup of military and paramilitary personnel in Edo State, organizers have officially presented jerseys to participating teams at a ceremony held at CADA Plaza, Saple Road, Benin City. Solomon Aino reports that representatives of the 12 participating teams were present at the event, which also served as a formal build-up to the competition scheduled to commence on Monday, February 2.
Presiding over the ceremony, the chairman of the Edo State Football Association and local organizing committee, Fred Newton, described the tournament as a platform for unity, discipline, and healthy competition among security agencies. He encouraged participating teams to embrace sportsmanship throughout the duration of the competition. He further highlighted the importance of CADA Unity Cup in strengthening relationship among military and paramilitary formation in the state, noting that the championship continued to grow in stature with each edition. Representatives of various teams were handed their jerseys for the tournament, officially setting the tone for what has become an annual event known for producing thrill and drama on the football field. Players and officials of some of the participating teams expressed optimism and confidence ahead of the commencement of the tournament.
We're excited to still be part of this team, part of this competition, and I tell you, we can take it anywhere. We're ready for this edition.
Last time we had a fair share, I think it was in the semi-final. Knocked out by a penalty. It was a painful moment anyway, but we hope this time we can go a step further, or we should actually win the competition.
Now, this is our first time competition, and by God, we are very tense. But then we keep it together, we compose ourselves, and also we are playing a match against Ben Tensions FC on Friday. Still prepare for the match and for tournament. So we don't want to go and be seen as yes. So we want to actually go and win it.
The organizer also expressed appreciation to the tournament sponsor and two-term governor of Edo State, Chief Lucky Nosahari Benedion, whose support they say has remained instrumental to the continuity of the competition.
So I want to give kudos to the former governor of Edo State, Chief Lucky Nosahari Benedion, for giving us the platform for us to excel.
We equally thank our chairman and all the committee members over here. Thank you very much.
With all team now fully kitted, attention shifts to the opening match as the CADA Unity Cup gets underway on February 2nd, with stakeholders expressing optimism that the tournament will once again promote unity and camaraderie across the various security agencies. From Benin, Solomon Aino, ITV News.
The Kwara State Fire Service has recovered the body of a 73-year-old man identified as Pastor Awolola, who was suspected to have been burnt to death while carrying out a bush-burning exercise on his parcel of land in Ilori. The spokesperson for the service, Hakim Adekunle, disclosed this in a statement on Monday that the agency received a distress alert over a fire incident at Cemetery Road, Irewolede, on Monday, and upon arrival, it was discovered that the deceased had reportedly set fire to weeds on his fenced parcel of land. He added that investigations revealed that the fire spread rapidly within the confined area, and while Awolola attempted to escape through the fence, he was allegedly trapped by the advancing flames. Reacting to the incident, the director of the agency, Alabi Mohammed, warned residents against bush burning due to its attendant dangers. The fire reportedly engulfed a house comprising 35 rooms. The striking workers of Kano Electricity Distribution Company have suspended their strike action and restored electricity supply to Kano and other franchise areas. Recall that the Senior Staff Association of Electricity and Allied Companies and the National Union of Electricity Employees at KEDCO embarked on an indefinite strike action on Wednesday over alleged poor working conditions. The strike followed the failure of KEDCO management to meet the demands of the aggrieved workers after the expiration of the deadline given to the management on Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. However, in a statement on Saturday by the company, the headquarters of corporate communications, Sani Balar Sani, KEDCO announced that the suspension of the industrial action following what he described as productive engagements and concrete resolutions reached by all parties. He pointed out that with suspension of the industrial action, normal operations have resumed across all service areas, thus assuring customers of the company continued dedication to providing a reliable and efficient electricity supply. An early morning fire gutted a residential building on Monday, destroying no fewer than 28 apartments, including several shops, at number 32 Orumba Street, Okpoko, in Ogbari local government area of Anambra State. It was gathered that the fire, which started in one of the apartments at about 2 a.m., quickly spread to adjoining apartments before engulfing the shops. The blaze, which was reportedly caused damage running into several millions of naira, was brought under control with the intervention of police officers from the Okpoko Police Division, who provided security while residents made frantic efforts to quench the fire. No casualties were recorded, but the incident caused panic as residents struggled to salvage their belongings from the ravaging flames. Although the cause of the fire remains unconfirmed, preliminary reports suggested that it may have been triggered by a power surge following the restoration of electricity supply. Some affected shop owners said they received distress calls informing them that their shops were on fire, but by the time they arrived at the scene, the entire building had been razed down. At the scene, men of the Nigerian Police Force, led by the Divisional Police Officer of Okpoko Division, CSP Ewelu Owai, alongside community stakeholders, were present to maintain law and order and assess the level of damage. This is where we call it a wrap on the news updates. I am Ehoy Davis. Good morning.
ITV, certainly the best. Hello, beautiful people. It's another beautiful Wednesday morning, and I am Marcelina Unkwa. It is TMI Socials, where we talk about trending stories, trending that is making waves on social media, and of course, different people's reaction to a particular story. So we saw that Soludo threatened to shut down Onitsha market, and we saw that the traders came out and started protesting, and this particular video has made a lot of people talking, you know, different persons with their different reactions talking about this particular video. Why would you shut down the main market? It says Biafra protest kicks off in Onitsha main market as Soludo attempt to shut down to punish traders for demanding Nnamdi Kanu's release. Trader insists only Kanu's release would end the Monday sit-at-home protest. In trust social media people, you know, like I said, with their different reactions coming out, you know, some persons say that why before we go to the reaction. Interesting. Okay, let's take a look at people's reaction about this particular video that has been trending on social media for 2 days now. This person says, I initially argued that he should have let sleeping dogs lie rather than issuing that order. To address certain issues, you must first understand their root causes. You don't dismantle an ingrained belief system with mere commands. The sit-at-home was not random defense. It was a reaction, a subtle protest against the arrest of Nnamdi Kanu, the recognized leader of the Biafra movement. You cannot simply order people to abandon their symbol without engagement. The ordinary Igbo man has pride. You don't tell him by decree. This struggle has been futile. Okay, let's take a look at another reaction. This other person, Ekene, says, people don't understand what is playing here. The main plan is to cause chaos in Southeast by bringing out IPOB, unknown gunmen, so that Trump U.S. government will not only see the northern side as a terror area, but also Southeast. Okay, let's take a look at another reaction. This other person said, Donald Trump is watching. Now that Soludo has triggered them, and the world is going to ask what and why. Interesting. Let's take a look at another reaction. This other person says, this protest won't help. They should take advantage of the number to remove every lock and go about their normal business. The order to resume Monday market activities is part of the mega agreement with Abuja authorities. Protesting won't help. Okay, interesting. That is for that. We're still on TMI Socials, but we'll talk about trending update. Our next story today we'll be looking at is, you know, Wike FCT minister has said that from tomorrow, which is today, any worker who refuses to resume work will face disciplinary action. If anyone blocks the gate, we will make sure the person will make the person a scapegoat. This particular statement that he made has got a lot of people talking on social media. They're saying that you own those people for their welfare. Pay them. Not after you've posted a picture of your children, you know, graduating, and now these people that are working, you haven't paid them. I mean, those people have children too that they need to cater for. Different people with a different reaction. Let's take a look at the video, of course, before we go to the reaction.
Order them to suspend the strike. What will be your advice to workers from tomorrow? And will there be consequences for workers who fail to resume work from tomorrow?
Well, I mean, naturally, if you disobey the law, there are no consequences for disobeying the law. We must allow people to disobey the law flagrantly. I'm giving them the window. You can see me in office today. For tomorrow, if you don't come to work, we're going to apply the big stick. And for tomorrow, if you see anybody who says, oh, he wants to block the gate, will make you a scapegoat.
Interesting. If you're not resuming work tomorrow, which is today, we'll use such persons as scapegoats. Trust social media people with their hilarious comments, you know, different persons with their different reactions and different comments. Let's take a look at the comments. Okay, this person says, Ayomide says, then it's today you will understand Abuja is not Rivers. The president who delegated Wike to be there has been silent all the while. Facts you should know is the president is the governor of FCT, who in turn delegates Wike to be there as minister. Has Wike ever present FCC budget? If he stepped out of turn, repercussions will follow. This may be a bill. Know this and no peace. Interesting. Let's take a look at another reaction. Okay, this other person said, Oga, go and negotiate with the workers and pay them what is due them. After showing off your son's graduation over the weekend, you come back to put pepper on workers' eyes. How will they pay their children's fees too? Let's take a look at another reaction. Because he lacks moral grounds on administrative governance, it is a shame he has spent billions on infrastructure, but staff welfare is nothing to write home about. Okay, this other person, Abdulaziz, says, because he lacked moral grounds on administrative governance, it is a shame he spent billions on infrastructure, but staff welfare is nothing to write home about. Interesting. Okay, Big Joe says, tell your boss that if people understand under a supposed leader come out and marks over welfare, he has failed as a leader. Interesting. Okay, that is for that. If people are coming out in mass numbers saying that they're asking for welfare, it means you failed as a leader. Interesting. You know, this whole thing happened. You know, we saw a video where, you know, Wike was coming out from the office and all this, you know, the people that started chasing him. And we saw another video where Wike came out to say that he wasn't chased. Interesting. And they promised that they are going on strike. And Wike has said, whosoever do not resume office today, you know, he would use that person as scapegoat. And different persons with their different reactions. This is all we've got for you on TMI Socials this beautiful morning from Lagos. I am Marcelina. Now we'll be handing over to Evans. Evans, if you're there, you can hand me over to you.
All right, beautiful Mercy. That's, you know, the issues that, some of the issues that we are grappling with in the country. And of course, for social media enthusiasts, they will always continue to make their comments and see how they can also be part of what is going on. Well, like what I always let people know, that it is good that you react to some of these things, but the best thing to do is to learn from all these stories. Well, this is how we'll end the program today, this morning on ITV. The next Wednesday, that's next week, that's going to be in the month of February. And that's just the way it is. My name is Evans Unohoge. So on the same time tomorrow on the same program, goodbye and God bless you.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.